Hey, my name's Mike. Welcome to the Daily Devo. Today we're talking about number 2. We're walking through the 10 commandments. We're going backwards. Today we're talking about the second commandment. And I believe it shows us what happens when the people of God begin to love created things instead of having a soul love for the Creator. Number 2 is this. It says in Exodus chapter 20, verses 4 through 6, "You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or an image of anything in the heavens or on the earth or in the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children, and the entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations on those who love me and obey my commandments." Right about the time this commandment was given to Moses, the Israelites messed this up pretty bad. They actually built a calf out of melted gold jewelry so that they could have a visible God that they could worship. Moses, he had left Aaron in charge, and he went up to a mountain to receive the commandments and the law from God. While I was gone for a minute, the people got impatient. Not long after he left, boom, golden calf to worship for the Israelites. Moses being gone caused their faith in their relationship with God to feel shaky. Think about that. Moses, a human, a man that God was just using to lead them. He was an awesome leader, a spiritual leader in their lives, but still just a man. He became a focus of their faith to the extent that his absence caused their hearts to drift away from God. You see, for you and I, idols can look like many different things. It could be that we're leaning too much on a person that God uses to influence us spiritually in our lives. It could be we have a heavy lean on our pleasures or our provisions here on this earth. It could be we have a religious tradition, or we have specifically worded prayers or images or icons that we hold on to that make us feel like our faith is secure. You see, if we don't pay attention on how we worship the God of our faith, it can be really easy for you and I to begin to place our worship on specific parameters that crowd God out, that move him out of our worship. You're probably not melting gold and building a calf in your backyard by the pool, but there is a possibility that your worship and your relationship with God are hanging on some specific earthly things. And those things could be getting in the way of our hearts fully loving God today. You see, maybe when money is tight, maybe you tend to lean on yourself a little more. Maybe you tend to figure out problems yourself. Maybe the sermon or the worship at church wasn't up to your standards, or it wasn't what you would have picked, or you didn't think the guy did a very good job. Do you walk away from the gathering called the church? Do you walk away having worshiped and loved God less because something earthly happened? You see, God doesn't want us to have any images or traditions that are married to our worship of him. As God's people, you and I are in full relationship with him. You and I have his word. We have his spirit. We have access to his love, and we have access to follow him with all of our hearts. Take watch in your life this week. Look for anything in your world that has a place in your heart that is designated for you to fully love God and fully worship him.